What's up, Marvel fans? It's the Emerald Enthusiast, back with another action figure review. This time, I'll be taking a look at the 12-inch Titan Hero Series figures of Wenwu and Shang-Chi. Let's have a look at the packaging. On the front of each one, it says Shang-Chi, the Legend of the Ten Rings. This one says Wenwu, of course. There is character art on each side of the box. On the top, once again, it says Shang-Chi. There's a field of black on the bottom. And on the back, we get this art of Wenwu and a brief biography of the character. Likewise, this one says Shang-Chi, Titan Hero Series figures. Of course, this is the title character. There's character art on each side of the box. And once again, we get a brief biography of the character on the back. Here are the character descriptions of both Wenwu and Shang-Chi in 5 different languages. If you would like to read these, just hit pause and do so now. This is open window packaging, and I really like how the box art looks when these two figures are placed side by side. If you're not a mint-on-card collector and you take the figures out of the packaging, remember to recycle the packaging materials. And now let's bust these figures out of the packages and see what's inside. And here are Wenwu and Shang-Chi, free of the packages and ready to rumble. Hasbro did an adequate job of bringing these two characters to life. There are passable likenesses of the actors and some excellent sculpting on the attires. So let's take a closer look at the loose details now. Let's have a look at Wenwu now. And the sculpting on the lower body is really on target. Now, this area, the way that they did the legs is a problem, and I'll talk more about that, especially this part of the attire. I like the color choice, but it really hinders the articulation in the lower body. The texturing on the torso is impressive and screen accurate for the most part. Here's a look at the rings on the forearms. These are sculpted on, they're not separate pieces. The figure does not have the port for the Power Effects accessory in the back, and I definitely prefer that. In terms of the head sculpt, I can definitely see a likeness of Tony Leung here. However, the head and the neck are two different skin tones, so Hasbro could have made a better choice there. Now let's have a look at the articulation, and unfortunately it is very limited, even by Titan Hero Series standards. As you can see, the attire really restricts the legs from moving out from the body. There's no articulation in the torso, however there is rotation at the tops of the forearms, as you can see, and there's some decent movement in the shoulder joints. You can raise them up and rotate them out from the torso. So this is certainly better than the articulation of the lower body. It's possible to do a 360 with this arm, however this shoulder armor piece prevents that with this arm. It is possible to rotate the arm, but just be careful when you're articulating this arm. You don't want to damage the shoulder armor piece. The figure can look side to side, however the rest of the movement with the head is very limited. Now let's have a look at Shang-Chi. And there's adequate sculpting on the lower body. The pants are a little looser than they should be. And I'm not sure why Hasbro did this stance with the feet pointed outward. That actually affects the figure's balance to a degree. I do appreciate the texturing on the torso and the arms. I think the attire looks really good, even though there is some paint missing in terms of screen accuracy. Here's a look at the arms. I especially appreciate the sculpting on this hand. And this figure does not have the problem of the mismatched skin tones like the Wenwu figure. Now let's have a look at the head sculpt, and this is decent. I like the way the hair has been sculpted, and I can certainly see the likeness of Simu Liu here. But the expression here is very flat and lifeless, and Simu Liu is an actor with a very expressive face, so I certainly think that Hasbro could have made some improvements here. In terms of articulation, you can get the figure to kick forward this far, so I appreciate that amount of movement. The legs spread out to the sides to this degree. I think there could have been some improvement here. Although the legs do rotate in the hip joints somewhat, so you can get this figure into an acceptable side kicking pose. And this will give you some posing options. Once again, there is no articulation in the torso. There's rotation at the forearms once again. This will also give you some posing options. You can raise the arms up from the sides this much. And you can do a 360 with both of the arms on this figure, as you can see here. The head moves side to side, and that's pretty much the extent of the articulation. There's a minor amount of up and down movement and tilting, but overall, this is standard Titan Hero series articulation. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this review. And please, tell all of your friends about this channel. I would certainly appreciate it. And I'll be back with more action figure content soon. But until we meet again, this has been the Emerald Enthusiast, and thanks for watching.